Having an exceptional relationship with your spouse affects every single aspect of your life and is crucial for experiencing your dream life together. I'm Rob Murgatroyd.
And I'm Kim Murgatroyd. Listen in on our honest, filter-free conversations as we navigate life and business together without killing each other.
You'll learn by osmosis how to transform the friction you feel in your relationship into a purposeful foundation that will allow you to grow together.
Welcome to the Friday Podcast.
Kimberly, Pivot Murgatroyd, how are you on this hippity dippity day?
I am just ducky. Thank God, because it's raining. I might need my duck fins today.
I'm on my second espresso today.
Oh, that's what the problem is.
You
stopped drinking so many, and I've noticed that you went back to it.
Okay, first of all, I stopped drinking so many because I've realized two things. Either I'm eating all of Italy, and that's the reason why my face is the size of a satellite dish, or I'm inflamed from drinking so much caffeine, or I don't have a third, but I felt like I was building up to a big third, but I didn't have a third.
Well, you could say wine, but you don't want to even entertain that thought. So
I've given up the conversation of giving up wine. I just think I'm going to drink it and I don't give a fuck about it. But listen, this is not why we're here today. We're here to talk about something really, really exciting, number one. But I think more particularly, we are here to talk about the path of least resistance and why do we need to make things so fucking hard in life when it could be easy? So since this is a little bit more in your manifestory factory world, maybe you can set us off.
So the path of least resistance, if you've heard that phrase, I know many of you listen to Abraham Hicks, and she often talks about the path of least resistance. And that's where things are in flow, right? It's kind of like when we were moving to Italy, the moment we made the decision, it was like all the doors opened for us. To use Matthew McConaughey, it's green lights. It's when you're in that easy kind of flow state. And sometimes we look at something that's easy, that we're interested in, that we love, and we think it's too easy, so we need to do something different. We need to resist going the easy road, because there's all these things, no pain, no gain. And, you never got anything good by, making it easy. It's like all those quotes and sayings that make us feel like we need shit to be hard in order to make it successful or worth it. Like, nothing good comes when it's easy, or whatever. I'm fucking up all the quotes, but it doesn't matter. You get my point. And,
I think what you're really saying is that we live in a no pain, no gain sort of world.
Yeah.
And if it isn't hard, then it's not going to be.
It won't be worth it.
It's not going to be worth it. You got to struggle.
You got to struggle. And so in Rob and I's world, what we do pretty consistently is we're always kind of looking under the hood. And I know you do this with your coaching clients too, but we do it personally. And we're always looking at our life, our business, our family, our friends, like all our relationships, what we're doing, our travels. We kind of take a peek into all areas of life pretty consistently and see where we're at, what's working, what's not working, what we're loving, what we're not loving. And we make decisions based on that. And so we used to have this company. Some of you may have found us actually from our original company from back in the day. And I'm going back like 2006. And it was called Jet Set Life. And we've talked about it before, where it was like we read the 4-Hour Work Week and we decided to turn our passion for travel into a business. And the business was really, really fun. We got to travel around the world. We created our own, produced our own travel show, created some downloadable guidebooks that the world was definitely not ready for, digital anything yet. And it was mediocre success. We got a lot of eyeballs in pre-social media world, but Financially, it was kind of a mediocre success. We cut our teeth, though, in online marketing. We cut our teeth in podcasting. And, we have a long history with this. And so that was something that was, I would say, a path of least resistance for us, right? That was something that it just felt very natural because we loved going on vacation. We loved sharing about our vacation. And again, pre-social media. So it's not like you were seeing everyone's vacation all the time. Ours was on YouTube and it was fun. We did 20 destinations around the world. So I would say that was a path of least resistance. We didn't make financial gains in this really, but we made a lot of connections. We learned a lot of lessons and we have valuable content and lessons from those times that still serve us today. And so when we were doing our most recent kind of check under the hood, we were talking about where do we want to go from here with our businesses, with our life, with our lifestyle, and things keep popping up. People keep making recommendations of things, you guys really should do stuff about Italy. I mean, you live there. You should really just, go all in on Italy. You should really do this. You should really do that. And we've kind of poo-pooed it because I don't want to walk around telling you how to take the bus in Italy. I don't want to make my entire life into a TV show necessarily. And that was kind of how I was feeling about it. But yesterday we played Stupid Idea Time on our terrace, which, by the way, when you have a big whiteboard out on our beautiful terrace with the Duomo in the background, it's kind of magical. And the topic of the day was basically, what do you think we should do? What's our path of least resistance? And we made some decisions.
So, it's interesting. Sometimes when you are in business, you have to think about lots of things, as I think you were alluding to. Like, you've got to think about your life and your family and things that you're interested in, and really putting into place all these principles that we talk about, when is enough, and being able to step in stupid idea time, which gets you out of the box that you're in, look at the path of least resistance. We have a lot of lenses and filters in which we're processing what we want to do. And I don't think that business is meant to always remain exactly the same. And I can tell you, having been a chiropractor for 25 years and doing the same thing over and over again, it just gets freaking boring and you're looking for other things. So now I'm not suggesting that you become the person that is always pivoting and changing every year or two, but I am suggesting that if things feel in alignment for you to consider it, then you should, because I think the universe is knocking on your door trying to tell you something. And I've learned the universe will knock on somebody else's door if you don't want to answer that door, because sometimes an idea is meant to be born and somebody else will just use it. It's kind of like you see an idea and you're like, hey, that was my idea. Yeah, well, you didn't act on it. So it was an idea that was ready for this time and space and in reality, right?
Right. And also, like, we just finished reading Gay Hendricks' book, The Big Leap, and he talks about zone of genius. And so, this is how I approach this whole world of personal growth and, self-help or whatever you want to call it. When I look at all of the different books and ideas and lessons that I've learned, right? I'm looking at your bookshelf now. We have The Big Leap, so Zone of Excellence. We have The Inspiration from Frances Mays. We have Mindset Strategies. We have all of these things that become lenses of how we want to live our life. And so we're looking under the hood, right, at our businesses. And one thing that has been incredibly successful that Rob began in 2019 is his Work Hard, Play Hard events, which turned into the Platinum events that we do around the world. And these events are incredibly successful. People love them. They're really fun for us to curate and to put on. We have one coming up this May, actually, in the south of France. And we've decided it's going to be the last one. And you can look at that and go, okay, you have something that is so fun and so successful, and you bring together incredible people and all of these things. Why would you give that up? And this is the part where when we're looking under the hood and we're looking not in just business, but in all areas of life, it is those events, although successful, so business check. The rest of it is difficult because it's taxing on our family to have to pull Sophia out of school or hire babysitters to manage, 6 days with her, or she misses 6 days of school and we're traveling around. Also, finding the destinations and curating destinations, it takes us another experience. We have to go in advance, experience it ourselves, and then decide whether or not we want to do the event, and then market and sell the event. And that gets hard because, again, like last year, we went to Dubai for Sophia's spring break. So now Sophia's spring break has become a fun trip to Dubai, but also us doing, recon to see if we want to do Dubai or not. And so we used to, do you remember when in Jet Set Life, we used to have the quote, we endure the shit so you don't have to. Mm-hmm. It was like, we would go to all the restaurants and then only tell you the good ones. And so I sort of feel like that's what we're doing again. And so we've decided that this will be our last platinum event. How are we pivoting that? Well, we're going to start hosting events in just Italy. And so we have our first event coming up in the fall. If you want to join us, you've probably seen about it. We'll put it in the show notes as well. But it's Robin Kim's Italia. You're coming to Tuscany, Florence. We're going to do a day trip out to the coast. But it's easier on our family. And to be honest, we're so much more passionate about Italy right now because it's where we live and we're discovering it. And we want to share all about Italy with you guys because it's not just, it is Italy. Let's be honest. It's food, it's wine, it's beauty, it's culture, but it's also, we've learned so many lessons here and we just want people to experience it the way we do. So we're taking something, the platinum events, and we're pivoting and doing, instead of one platinum event a year, we're going to do maybe 2 Italy events a year. And they're going to be different than the platinum events. They're not similar in any way, but they're going to be here because it's more in alignment with our goals and our, Rob has a free workbook on redefining success. And part of redefining success in all of the areas of your life is then you have a standard to live up to. And right now, our family success, we need to have a happy, healthy, fully functioning family. And, dragging Sophia all around the world to do these business trips is harder as she gets older. So doing it here is more in alignment with our definition of success for our family.
Yeah. For a lot of people listening, some of you have your own businesses, some of you work for people, et cetera. And a lifestyle business is an interesting thing, which is what I'm calling the kind of business that we have, because it's sort of everywhere you are. So you have to be in alignment with how you're doing that business. And when we think of all the reasons that Kim was talking about where we've got to take a trip somewhere and go, oh my God, we just spent all this money, all this time. The location is not right for them. Or we go and do a trip, check it out and go, this is incredible. And we come back and people are like, where's Marrakesh? Is that in America? And you can't sell it because they don't understand it. They're like, it's the Middle East. I don't know. And so finding the sweet spot of a location that somebody wants to be in, one that you think is worth them going, one where you can market it, and then having to take Sophia out of school for all of it, take the time. There may be people listening to this right now going like, well, that sounds like a great fucking job. Just traveling all around the world, figuring shit out. And it is. But when you run it through the lens of sort of the life that you want to have, because let's not forget, we don't only have that one thing. We've got multiple podcasts and I've got coaching and, there's a million things that are always happening, right? Trying to raise a family and do things.
So by the time this podcast records, you probably will have seen
Comes out.
the stuff about it. So that's where we're headed in our lane. But the reason that I want to share it with you guys is because I think it's valuable for you guys to do similar things in your business and take that check under the hood or even in your life and make sure, like we just did this with our house, right? We have our lease coming up. We have this amazing place here in Florence, this terrace, but there are some things that are really annoying. Like, every window, if it's windy, you can just stand in front and the wind is coming in because there's no molding that holds the wind out. I don't know. Nothing here is good in that way. And, we had all these conversations about, do we want to stay in this house or do we not want to stay in this house? So we had to do a good check under the hood. Do we want to stay here? And at the end of the day, we said, yes, we want to stay. And so we signed a lease for 4 more years and all of those little things. So I highly recommend you downloading Rob's Redefine Success workbook and go through all the areas of your life and figure out what success looks like in those areas. And don't be afraid to kill the things that are not in alignment with where you want to go or in alignment with the other parts of your life. I think sometimes we're so scared to kill the things that make money in lieu of, something else. And I think that it's okay to do that sometimes. Rob, you have your problem-solving strategy that you walk through, and I think it's so valuable to do this where you basically are mitigating all of the downsides. You're coming up with what's the problem? What are the solutions? What would all the downsides, the pros, the cons, and then how could you mitigate them? And walking through that type of strategy on any of these problems, I think is super helpful because people get stuck. It's kind of like when we were getting rid of the chiropractic office. It made money. At the end, you had staff in there and you went in once a week, but it had mental bandwidth that it took away from you, so you couldn't pour it into other areas of your life or other businesses.
Listen, not only is there mental bandwidth, this is an interesting conversation because yesterday I kidnapped a friend of ours. He has a birthday. He has the worst fucking birthday in the world. It's December 26th. Everybody's gone. Everybody's hungover. Nobody's interested. And his 50th birthday got buried. And it was killing me for all these months. Now here it is, March. Everybody's back. The kids are in school, etc. And I said to the guys, "Look, we got to take him out." So we decided to ambush him. His wife was our accomplice. She brought him to a local coffee shop, and me and a bunch of other guys just surprised him. We kidnapped him. We took him out he loves cooking, so we took him out to the hills of Tuscany where they make these beautiful, they're 4th generation families of making chef's knives, etc. So we went out there and we had a great lunch. So, sitting at the table, it's funny. One of the guys, she said, "Can I get you a bottle of wine?" He said, "Bring 2." She goes, "2?" He said, "Yeah, the first one's just to clean my teeth. We just clean our teeth with the first one." I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard. But the second one of the guys said to me, it's our attorney, Michele. He's a tennis player. And he says, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, anything." And he said, "Tennis elbow, what do you do?" And he saw my face. He said, "I have not asked you one
medical
question in 2 years, and I have been saving this one up because it's killing me." And then the other guy, who's a director in Hollywood, he said to me, "Dude, can I ask you something?" And he goes, "I have not asked you one question, but you're asking me how to make a movie and how to write a book. Can I ask you one?" The entire table went one by one with ailments that they had. It was fucking hell for me, okay? It was literally hell because I love these guys and all I want to do is talk about anything other than lateral epicondylitis. You know what I mean? So the reason why I bring this up is if you're a business owner or you're working or you're known for something, that could be in your zone of excellence. You're just good at it. But, we started this podcast talking about adding something that we want to do.
We want to dive deep into Italy. We want to do more events in Italy. We want to write books about Italy. We love this country. We love our life here. And we want to share it because even if you're not going to move to Italy, maybe you can get some ideas on how the Italians live and how they have managed to live for thousands and thousands of years through feast, famine, and plague and everything in between and live such full and rich lives. And that's important to us. And so when people come here or when we talk about it, our goal, our contribution is to get you to think just a little bit differently, that living is possible in different ways. It's not just the hustle and the bustle and the back-to-back.
All right. That's it, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, if you've ever thought about coming to hang out with Kim and I on one of our next Rob and Kim Italia events and you want to learn more, just click the Rob and Kim Italia link in the show notes and add your name and email, and we'll send you all the details as soon as they're available. We are obsessed with this country and how it affects you, and we want to share that magic of culture, food, wine, art, architecture, and some secret magic moments that we've cooked up with you. So be sure to add your name because these events sell out quickly.